Hey, welcome back to the JK Moto Entertainment Channel. Welcome back once again to Stable B, our favorite place. Yes, we are still in Stable B despite the announcement I made, well, last week it was. But as I said, things are going to change a little bit. Stable B is going to be changing, so just be on the lookout for that. Today, we're going to talk about a pretty important topic, and I think I'm going to release a video a little bit later on that'll cover a few more things, but I decided, based off the time of year it is and what everyone's kind of doing right now, and for at least most of the country, the fact that it is winter, it's cold, and it's snowy and or rainy or whatever the weather is wherever you might be. If you're in Texas, California, Florida, don't worry about the weather part too much. But anyway, it's the time of year that most people aren't riding, but they're really starting to itch to ride. We got MotoGP coming right around the corner. Moto America is about to start up here in a couple months. Yeah, everything's just right on the verge of taking off, and everyone's getting ready to ride. So the big question is, what do you do when it's springtime and the money's finally starting to clear back up? Christmas is over. You get your wife or girlfriend, whatever it is, you got them, or boyfriend for the ladies in the audience, or your kids, whatever it might be. You spend all your money's done, everything's cleared up. It's time to start looking forward to the upcoming track day and or race season that is coming up. So what do you do to your bike? Maybe you had all these big plans of all this stuff. I'm gonna do an engine rebuild. I'm gonna get new suspension, upgrade some stuff. A lot of people love to do upgrades over the winter. You go into the fall time frame, you start packing everything up, putting everything away in the garage, and it's time to do some upgrades. And then you get a little distracted and Christmas comes, and then come time, January, February, maybe even March time frame, you're like, oh crap, I didn't get all those upgrades done. And it's time to kind of float the budget and see what you can do and how fast you can do it all. What a lot of people forget and a lot of people miss, myself included, I've missed this several times, is that there's still like general maintenance that you need to do on your bike, and you don't want to get to your first track day with a sweet new exhaust on there, but you got brake pads that are bad. So today we're going to very specifically talk about brake pads, but there are a few other things that I'll kind of talk about that you should look at. Tires, I feel like, are kind of just obvious. Obviously, check all your gear. But the big focus of today is that you can't just run into the new season without taking care of the consumables. And we're going to talk about consumables and specifically brake pads today, and whether or not it is time for you to change your brake pads. So stick around. Brake pads. What is a brake pad? On your brakes, you have your brake lever, your master cylinder, brake fluid reservoir, your brake lines, your brake caliper, and your brake rotor. And that's really about all the parts and pieces of the brake system on a motorcycle. So the brake pad is the part that sits in the caliper and squishes around the rotor. Now I know a lot of you in the audience are probably like, okay, Easton, we get it. We know what brakes are, but it's important to talk about that. Rotors are also technically kind of a wear thing, but generally you're not gonna grind down your rotors that fast unless you're racing a lot. You're more likely to probably wear them out due to heat and warping and stuff like that. But anyway, rotors, we'll talk a little bit about rotors, but we're really gonna focus on brake pads today and why I think you should head out to your garage or shop or wherever your bikes might be, maybe they're just in the driveway, and take a look at those brake pads right now. And unfortunately, you might also have to pull the caliper off to really take a look at them. And we're gonna get into that. But I bring this up because every time I go to a track day, I go to tech inspection, I take the bike over there, and the guys look at, everything. And they're checking tire tread depth, they're checking your throttle play, they're checking your suspension rebound, they're checking for loose bolts on all your kind of external things like your bars and your rear sets, your clip-ons, all of that, right? They're checking all of that. One of the things that I have seen checked before, and they should check probably, is the brake pad and how much wear room there is left in the brake pad and whether or not your brake pads need replaced. I kind of laughed to myself because I've had someone say to me like, hey, your brake pads are getting a little low. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I went home, I did that track day because he's like, oh, you'll be fine for this track day, but you just need to change them probably before your next one. I was like, okay, cool. So I went home and without doing any other research, I just ordered some new brake pads. They're not too much money, and I put them in the bike, and then I went on about my day and figured, well, I'll change them again the next time someone mentions it at a tech inspection. But what are they looking at when they tell you your brake pads are a little low and they might need changed? What are you looking at when you might decide that for yourself? Today we're going to talk about how you actually tell if your brake pads do in fact need changed. Now keep in mind, not all brake pads are the same. You get your super long-term road use ones that'll last forever. And then realistically, the more money you spend, at least as far as sport bikes go, you get a higher performing brake pad, which is great for more money, but you also get less time on your pads. They tend to wear down a lot quicker. So just keep that in mind when you're out shopping for pads. If you go for the biggest, baddest, most expensive, and you're kind of a reasonably paced guy that's heavy on the brakes, you'll wear through your brakes pretty pretty fast. And if you're not racing, it might not be the best idea to spend a ton of money on the best brake pads just to wear them down super fast and not really have the need. So I just want to throw that out there for you track day junkies that aren't quite racing yet. Don't go thinking you need these super crazy awesome race pads that cost 500 bucks a pop when you could get a nice regular set of just sintered brake pads that'll last you a lot longer, still be a little bit higher performing than a street level, but not break the bank near as much. So just keep that in mind. But anyway, I have with me today a brake pad. So we're gonna take a look at this. I'm gonna pull up over here so I can kind of show you guys. This is a brake pad off of my Aprilia. It's a 2019 RSV4 1100 factory. Anyway, that's not important. But this guy right here, put her down in the focus zone, is the brake pad. So you obviously have the back where your two pistons sit and push this thing in and out, and it's gonna squish together over the rotor. Let me grab another one. They're gonna squish together over the rotor. Come on, focus, there we go. And clamp it down, and then the friction in there is going to cause the bike to stop, or the rotor to stop at least. If it's connected to the bike should stop also. So when should you replace these things? When is actually the best time? So if you look on here, we've got our actual like braking surface. This is the actual brake pad wear part itself. And if you look at the height of that, that is what you're looking at to determine whether or not you want to replace your brake pads. Now this can tell you a lot of stuff. It can tell you how evenly everything's set up. If you're getting really uneven wear, you want to take a look at your rotors and your calipers and your mounting points, make sure that everything's straight. But you can get a lot of good info off your brake pad here. But the question is, how low can this get before I actually need to replace it? How little pad material can I have on there before I need to replace it? And unfortunately, I can't give you the answer for your bike for that, because it's not like, oh, you just look at it and as long as it's the thickness of a dime, you're good, or the thickness of a penny, or whatever it might be. You have to go look up for your motorcycle and realistically for the brake pad itself, but at least looking up for your bike will give you a kind of baseline, and look up the minimum thickness of the pad material. Now, also keep in mind when you're doing that, you're looking to measure, if I remember right, just this pad material thickness itself, not the whole plate. The plate shouldn't change at all. If the plate changes sizes, you got a big problem. You probably don't have any pad left, or there's something else. There's something else going on. That's bad. Like, no, bad. But you gotta measure the thickness of just that pad material itself. And it's gonna be somewhere in the realm of like, it's gonna be a point and then a 3-digit number in inches and or however many millimeters, and it'll be a pretty interestingly small number. And you're just gonna verify that your pads are in fact thicker than that. So to do that, we're gonna grab a set of calipers, which many of you may not have this tool. This is what we call an inside-outside digital caliper. This is from Pittsburgh, you can see that. It's not from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, maybe it is, I don't know. But it's definitely from Harbor Freight. I think it cost me like all of $10. Is it the most accurate thing in the world? No, but is it better than just eyeballing it and replacing pads either way too early or way too late? Yeah, absolutely. So what we're gonna do here is turn this thing on. Can we see it? We can see it. Make sure it's zeroed. Sure enough, it's nice and zeroed. And then we're gonna measure the thickness. Oh, geez, it's cold. No, my tightening screw is not too tight. We're gonna measure the thickness of our pad. So we're gonna take our brake pad here. We're gonna take our caliper, let's get this in the focus zone, and we're gonna stick it on there and measure the whole thing, okay? Nice and flat. That's a 6.13. That's in millimeters. Let's go to inches. There we go. 0.243 inches. So just under 1/4 of an inch, okay? Then you're gonna come out to the outside where the pad is itself, you're gonna get 0.177. So if you can see there, I'm not on the pad, I'm on the mounting for it. 177, 243. So that's the difference, right? You're gonna measure the thickness of just here and the thickness of the whole thing all together. 2 different thicknesses. Once you get those 2 numbers, you're gonna subtract them, and that will give you the actual thickness of your pad material. So if you're out there looking and you're like, well, I've got plenty, it could be because you're measuring the entire thing and you're not subtracting and figuring out just what it is. So make sure when you're doing that math, you're doing that correctly. You take the whole thing and then subtract out, and you get what your actual just little tiny pad length or thickness is. Now I bring this up because, like I said in the beginning, it's springtime, it's about to be track season, race season, and all of my seasoned racers, if you're still in this video, go ahead and head out. We got you. We know that you guys are good to go. But all of my maybe not so seasoned racers and or just my track day guys, and especially the new guys that might put brake pads on because someone told you it was a good idea, or you're busy not doing that because you've got cool exhaust and suspension and everything else to go buy for your bike, and you got to paint your windscreen or whatever it is that you might do to your bike. Don't do any of that. Go look over your bike and verify that it's going to pass the tech inspection, and beyond that, that it's going to be safe to ride on the track. This is the time of year to do it, and if you've got that $1,500, $2,000 lying around waiting to buy this awesome part or whatever it might be, just save it for a bit and go out and look at your bike. Pull the brake pads off, pull your calipers off, pull the pads out, measure the pads, go buy you a nice caliper. They come in real handy. And then check everything else. Check your tires. Check the date code on your tires. Check your chain. Check your sprocket teeth. You can also use a caliper for that to figure out the minimum height of your sprockets, or you can just use a machinist scale for that, whatever it might be. But you should be checking all those things, right? Most people are pretty good about doing like the oil change and getting new tires when they need to, and that's kind of where some people leave it, because we forget that there's all these other wear products that we don't normally worry about. And then please, so this pad right here, I was racing the Aprilia this past year, so I went out and I got myself some nice brake pads. And I did not realize that the nicer pads don't last near as long as the not so nice pads. They also cost way more money, like I was talking about earlier. So I bought these thinking I was gonna be good to go, and halfway through the season, I was actually about to leave for a trip to Texas, and I looked down at my brakes and I was like, I wonder if those need replaced. And they didn't, technically, but I was gonna go do 2 to 3 days of riding, and they were like 2 or 3, maybe 5 max thousandths of an inch away from needing replaced. So they needed replaced. So also keep that in mind, just because they're above that limit doesn't necessarily mean that you're good to go for a full track day. And that's gonna depend a lot on your riding, the track you're at, the type of pad you have, and everything else, right? But just, they're not that expensive. Being able to stop your bike is one of the most important things. And I don't want anyone to go out and not be able to ride because they can't pass tech because of their brake pads, but more importantly, I don't want anyone to go out there and not be able to stop their bike because their brake pads didn't have enough pad left on them. So it's that time of year, it's January, head out in your garage, go take a look around your bike, and don't just look at it, because one, you're barely ever gonna be able to see it straight on. If you just replaced them, they're probably good to go, but don't just look at it, pull it out, actually do some measuring, make sure you got the right thickness, and then get new pads if you want to. And then when you're getting new pads, once again, keep in mind, you don't have to pay a ton of money for the super racy, crazy, awesome, these are good enough for MotoGP type pads. You can just get a street pad, or a street plus pad, or like street/track pad. Would be a great place to start. They're not gonna cost you an arm and a leg, and they're gonna last you a lot longer than some of these kind of fancy race ones that are real crazy. And for many of you, honestly, story time, brake. Go change your brake pads. Last story before we close out the video, but when I replaced these ones, so I don't even know what was on there when I got the bike, but I put these ones on. Like I said, these are like a Brembo, nice kind of upper range race style pad. I didn't notice that much of a difference, realistically, between my braking when I put these new ones on. And then I started getting used to the bike and actually riding the bike pretty hard. And when I went and changed these out for my other pads, there was a tiny bit of difference, but I will let you know that it is so small. Most of your braking ability really is gonna come from how well your brakes are set up. Mostly, honestly, mostly the area, right? The total like square inch area of braking capability that you have, surface area of the brakes. But the pad material can definitely help out a little bit. So there is a slight change. If you're brand new to this and you haven't been riding that long, or you're brand new to the track, I wouldn't go jumping straight to a race pad anyway. But beyond the other reasons I already told you, if they're expensive, they don't last that long, I wouldn't do it because you're gonna get out there and either not feel a difference, or they're gonna be quite a bit different, and you don't need all that, I promise. The bikes are built to stop. There's no track day organization place in the world that says you have to have race brake pads to come ride with us. No, street pads are fine, stick to them, figure out if you wanna do the sport for long term or not, and then you can kind of start to upgrade brake pads. And your riding will improve and you'll need a little bit better braking anyway, so it kind of goes hand in hand. But just take my word for it. That's my story, and that's what we got. Your bike is out in the garage right now. Maybe it's awaiting upgrades. Maybe it's just awaiting, a cleanup, whatever. This is the time of year. Go take it out. You don't have to like ride it, but go out to the bike, refresh all your fluids, do your coolant, do your brake fluid, do your oil, check your tires, check the date code on your tires, make sure they're not 7 or 8 years old, or 5 years old even, or whatever the common date is. Worry about dates that much anymore because I go through tires fast enough that I don't have 4-year-old tires, or even 3. I might have some 2-year-old tires. But check all those things, and don't forget about your brake pads. Check the rear too. Maybe you never use your rear. I don't, but always check it, because on the day that you do need it, when you go off track and you're trying to slow down, you're gonna want it, and if you don't have it, that's gonna be a pain. So just check the rear also, but go check your brake pads. Check all those things before you go spending all your money on awesome bike upgrades. We understand Christmas is over. We're getting ready for the season. If you still have the money for the upgrades, do all the upgrades, but make sure your bike is safe and ready to go for this upcoming track season. Appreciate you guys being with us and watching. Stick around for the next video on the channel. Best way to do that, click the subscribe button down below. Throw a like on the video also, please. And if anyone has any comments or questions about brake pads or any of that or anything that I mentioned, please throw it down below in the comments section or hit me up on Facebook or Instagram at JKMoto Entertainment. I will answer any and all questions over there. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.